How to use this book. This book is designed to be read in any order that interests you. But we ask that you start with Chapter 1, which focuses on communication. This chapter is designed to build a foundation for communicating with our growing kids. It has tools, sample scripts, and questions, as well as advice from some of the world's most noteworthy communication experts and therapists. Once you've read Chapter 1, you can jump around to whatever topic will help you most in the moment. In many chapters, we offer check-in with yourself prompts to encourage you to reflect on some of these big issues. Knowing where you stand, your values, your concerns, your own history, and how it may color your opinions, means you can approach these conversations with more clarity and confidence. Not just about boys, not just for parents. We know that many of the concerns we address in this book are not unique to boys. Parents may find the suggestions provided here useful regardless of their child's gender. This book is also not just for parents. It's for caregivers of all types. We sometimes use terms like your son or refer to readers as parents. But we understand that there are many kinds of caregivers and many kinds of families trying to raise boys well. It's important to note that whenever we talk about trends we've observed among teen boys, that does not mean girls aren't experiencing these things, or that all boys do. As parents and as professionals in our respective fields, we want to make clear that in writing about boys, we do not intend to minimize the experiences of any other kids. Ultimately, we want more connection and opportunities for all young people. We write this book because we believe that raising healthy and empathetic boys will help make the world a better place for everyone. Parenting, when done consciously and with compassion, is a form of activism. Raising kids who will do less harm than the generations before them, who will stand up for what's right and make the world a better place, is well worth the time, energy, and passion we have poured into this book. Our boys are worth the effort. Meet our boys panel. In every chapter, you will find quotes from real boys from our boys panel. They provide us with funny, profound, and at times brutally honest insights into their lives and how they believe adults can do better when communicating with tweens and teens. The 85 boys on our panel, ranging in age from 10 to 22, come from a variety of racial, ethnic, and religious backgrounds and live in several different parts of the U.S. and Canada. To protect their confidentiality, the boys are referenced here only by first name, and some of them chose to use pseudonyms. Their responses to our questions were often humorous, irreverent, and tender. But what moved us most was how thoughtful they were. They dug deep, sharing what scares them, what they wish their parents knew about them, their heartbreaks, their accomplishments, their insider view on boyhood, and what they think that we, as the adults in their lives, are doing right and doing wrong in raising them. We hope you enjoy hearing these We Asked About Boys audio excerpts as much as we enjoyed collecting them to share with all of you. Our kids are a gift, one that often goes underappreciated during the adolescent years. My father and I have an ongoing joke where he will say in a mock-serious tone, "It's time for another one of those father-son talks." He will then sit me down and preface whatever it is we're about to discuss by saying, "There comes a time in a man's life when..." And then he proceeds to drop the bomb, usually something minor like, he needs to plan his homework schedule for the next week. This format is used for anything that I'm not a fan of discussing, like executive functioning-related things. I really enjoy the format because the theatrics of it make me more engaged in the conversation. Nat, age 17. Chapter 1. Talk to your boys about communication. Communicating effectively is the single most important skill we need when parenting tweens and teens. So, this is where our book starts. It's also a section you can return to anytime you don't know how to address a topic or start a conversation. Every kid can benefit from learning how to communicate effectively, but it is especially important for boys, who are often expected to keep their feelings quiet. This silence can have devastating consequences for their mental health. It's typical for adolescents to become less talkative as they get older. For parents, this change can feel shocking. The little kid who never stopped chattering is suddenly the big kid who pulls his hoodie up and grunts out one-word answers. If boy puberty hired a marketing firm to design a logo, it would be an image of a closed door. If it were animated, the door would be slamming. This is how pediatrician Karen Natterson, MD, opens her book, Decoding Boys. According to Natterson, the closed door isn't necessarily the problem. The problem is when we stop trying to open it. We can't decode our boys if we don't talk to them, she writes, even though that's precisely what many of us tend to do, not talk to them. Parents have a choice. We can kick the door down and demand that our boy talk like he used to. Or we can pause, recognize that he's changing, and find a new way to communicate. Terrence Real, therapist and author of the groundbreaking book about male mental health, I Don't Want to Talk About It, told it to us straight. Don't accept the cultural narrative that adolescent boys just don't talk. It's bullshit. Real, a father of 2 grown sons, insists that boys do not have to turn monosyllabic, nor do they have to separate from us emotionally in order to grow up. That's not psychology. That is patriarchy. If you want them to talk, he insists, start by listening to them. Ask them for advice. Learn a few things from them. Stop guiding them and just be with them a little bit. We asked boys, what do you wish you could talk to your parents about? Mental health and emotional struggles. Cormac, age 16. Everything. I see people who are almost like best friends with their parents, and it's really cool to see. Those people are very lucky. But oftentimes when I try to be silly or when I approach my mom with a subject, I notice a lot of unhealthy communication from her. Colin, age 17. Social life. My girlfriend can talk to her mom about almost anything, but I don't feel like I could do that because they aren't there like that, or they just don't understand as well. Isaiah, age 17. Just about life and how it's going. Anise, age 18. How to talk to your boys. Forcing communication will just harden your child. 15-year-old Nadav told us. Teenagers are like that stuff you make in science class called oobleck. The harder you push, the more they resist. As the parent, you just need to be gentle enough so that they stay soft and can actually have valuable communication. So, what does it mean to be gentle enough? It starts with learning the signs that a boy is open to talk, and the signs that he's not. Too often we say, sit down, son, let's chat, in moments that are convenient for us. We don't stop to consider if he's ready to talk. It can be hard to tell sometimes. You poke your head into your teen's room after school and he's lying across his bed looking at his phone. His backpack is on the ground and his feet hang off the end of his bed, shoes on. To you, this looks like a kid with nothing to do. To him, a whole other scenario may be playing out. Here's what may be happening when you think he's doing nothing. He's exhausted from school and zoning out to his phone, which helps him recharge. His day was emotionally taxing and he's overwhelmed. So he's watching a show or video to release stress. He's about to do homework and he's scanning his calendar or classroom app to see what work is ahead of him. He's catching up on social media communication so none of his friends think he's ignoring them. He's reading a long message from a friend who is sharing something heavy or important. It may not look like much, but this doing nothing is likely a meaningful part of his day. An interruption from you might feel like an invasion, and before you know it, he's throwing up walls. So what to do instead? Don't interrupt, inquire. Start by inquiring respectfully. Do you have a few minutes to talk, or should I come back later? Are you in the middle of something, or can I come in for a few? I need to talk to you before I go to bed at 9. Do you have a few minutes before then? When we inquire instead of assume, we send a simple but profound message rooted in one thing: respect. When we inquire instead of interrupt, we tell them, I understand you've got a lot going on. I respect your time and energy levels. I recognize you're not just an extension of me. You are your own person with a complex life, schedule, and set of emotions. Set the tone. It's also key to let them know the tone of the conversation so they can gauge their own ability to handle it in the moment. Add an appropriate qualifier, such as, it's no big deal, it's just about weekend plans. You're not in trouble, but it's definitely important. This is serious, and it's important we take some time to talk about it when we can both listen and communicate well. It's not fair to let them sit there wondering what's wrong when there's nothing to worry about. Their concern that something major is coming may prompt them to ignore that they feel too tired or emotionally overwhelmed to show up for the conversation the best way possible. Giving them some agency over when these conversations happen also models communication skills and teaches them to respect other people's time and energy. Take them seriously. Boys can tell if you are actually interested in what they have to say, or if you are just angling for time before you deliver a lecture. If they know you're going to listen and listen with respect, they are a lot more likely to keep the communication lines open. Put your phone away so you can give him your full attention. Avoid making proclamations or getting argumentative. Take him seriously. Let him know that you value what he is saying and believe him. Show him that you're listening. Nod, repeat what you hear, ask clarifying questions. Be aware of your actions and facial expressions. Stay open-minded. Ask follow-up questions. You can use phrases like, would you be willing to tell me more about that? Or, what did you do next? Don't rush in to fill silences. Try counting to 10 after asking a question. Get curious, not furious. How do we talk to our boys when they have disappointed us? When they've broken a rule or failed to meet our expectations? Instead of punishments or formal consequences, clinical psychologist Ross Greene, Ph.D., author of the best-selling book The Explosive Child and creator of the Collaborative and Proactive Solutions model, encourages parents to start with curiosity. If a child isn't doing well, Greene insists that something must be getting in their way. Here are some examples of what it sounds like to approach your kid with curiosity rather than frustration. I've noticed that you haven't been putting your dishes away after breakfast. What's up? I've noticed that you've been playing video games longer than the time we agreed on. What's up? Then you listen with genuine empathy to hear what's making it hard for your kid to meet a given expectation. We know this might be difficult, especially if you're angry. Only then do you explain to them why you are concerned, using a phrase like, the thing is, insert your concern, or, my concern is, insert your concern. After you and your kid have talked and heard each other out, you can move toward generating realistic and mutually satisfactory solutions. Greene recommends restating the concerns using a sentence frame that begins with, I wonder if there is a way. The problem solving should be a collaboration. The goal is to find a solution that truly addresses the concerns of both parties and that both parties can actually perform. We asked boys, What could your parents do differently that would make you more likely to talk openly with them? If they weren't super critical of me and telling everyone my business, I would probably be more open to them. Cameron, age 18. It would be good if maybe they were more open about their struggles and hardships at my age. Without that, there is kind of a family myth, as my therapist likes to call it, about how my parents made it to where they are. If they open up about their struggles, it might make it easier for me to open up. James, age 21. Tell me that I can talk to them about anything. There's this sort of gap between us because I don't talk about my social life or feelings with them. Isaiah, age 17. Oftentimes, my mother will approach me in a way that might not make me want to open up about things. But on occasion, she'll approach me with an open mind and understanding, which I do appreciate. I think being approached with compassion and an open mind works well for not only me, but most teenagers. Colin, age 17. Just hang out with their kids, like they're best friends, because the more you hang out with anyone, the more they will talk. Anise, age 18. Try reflective listening. In 1980, Harville Hendricks, Ph.D., and Helen LaKelly Hunt, Ph.D., developed the Imago dialogue system as part of their unique couples therapy model. They realized that when people are upset, hurt, frustrated, or angry, communication often becomes challenging. Imago is a system for making sure both people are heard accurately and that their feelings and experiences are validated. Over the last 40-plus years, Imago dialogue has been used in all sorts of settings, and while the clinical format is likely too formal for daily interactions with teens, it can be simplified. This is an example Dr. Hendricks shared with us. He noted that he still relies upon this format when talking with some of his own grown kids. You may find it helpful when conversations get tense. There are 4 key steps for using reflective listening with teens. 1. Pause before responding. 2. Reflect back what we believe we heard. 3. Ask if that is correct. If not, ask them to clarify. 4. Repeat if necessary. Yes, it's that simple. But you'll notice that when the pressure starts to rise or a conversation gets heated, it won't always come naturally. That's why it's good to practice when everything is smooth sailing. Here's an example of how reflective listening works. You. Hey, could you please load and start the dishwasher before you head back to your room? Him. Grumpy. Why? My sister never has to do anything, and I'm the one with a huge project due on Monday. You guys treat me like I'm your servant sometimes. If you're like many parents, your first reaction might be to think, this kid has it so easy. What is he complaining about? Instead of saying that, pause and see if you can figure out what the big issue is. What's he really trying to say? You. So, if I have this correct, you're feeling stressed out and like we're asking too much of you. Does that feel right? Him. No, it's not that it is a super stressful chore. It's just the timing that is really stressing me out. You are asking me to load the dishwasher on top of everything I am dealing with right now. Again, if you can resist defensiveness, even when it feels justified, and continue to try to understand and affirm, you'll likely end up with better results. You. Oh, okay. So what I think I'm hearing is that you feel like I'm heaping a bunch of extra stuff on top of you and you don't know if you can handle it all. Is that more accurate? If you're able to ask these questions with softness in your voice and hear him out, it's likely he'll start to feel safe opening up and you'll get to the root of what's bothering him. Him. Yeah, geometry has been really hard. I feel so stupid in that class. You. Now that's a problem I think we can work through. I know it can be hard to talk about this stuff, especially when we're stressed, but I really appreciate that you explained it. Let's see what we can figure out, because feeling stupid in class is not fun at all. What felt like a kid being lazy might turn out to be a kid feeling badly about himself, wondering if he's stupid, and feeling helpless. And those are problems you two can face together. As grown-up as he may seem on the outside sometimes, he is still a kid, and will likely feel reassured when you offer him a hug, tell him he's not stupid, and suggest that you work together to come up with some solutions. Of course, after this talk, the dishwasher will still need to get loaded. Use your best judgment about when to force the issue or consider doing it together. We asked boys, what advice would you give to a parent who wants their teen son to talk to them more? Reveal more about yourself to make your son feel like they can connect more. Sam, age 15. Let them know you're there and they can tell you anything. Tell them they won't get in trouble for whatever they tell you, because the thing kids fear the most is opening up to their parents too much and getting in trouble. Isaiah, age 17. Check on them, but don't put pressure on them. Allow them to know that you are open to discuss anything when they want, not just when you want. Listen and ask if they want advice instead of just assuming they want it. James, age 21. Just have a friendly dynamic with your kid, rather than being only an authority figure. There's a perfect balance of both, which can take some trial and error to find, but ends up strengthening your bond with your kid. Raul, age 15. Talk shoulder to shoulder, not eye to eye. Stan Tatkin-Sidey, a psychologist who developed a therapy model that considers not only our psychology, but also our human biological tendencies, insists that teenage boys are like high-octane cats who are sensitive to feeling trapped. If you're smart, you don't lecture them. You say what's necessary and get out of Dodge, he told us with a laugh. Even better, insists Dr. Tatkin, do something with your teen that is rhythmic and does not require eye contact. If you and I start a round of ping pong or play catch, we have to look at each other to see where the other person is going to hit or throw the ball, he explained. That keeps us in the moment. We're not staring at the other, we're glancing. We get into a rhythm that relaxes our bodies and shears off excess adrenaline that would ordinarily cause more looking up. When we move in a fluid motion, we prevent executive functioning parts of our brains, which normally constrict and inhibit open communication, from taking over. As long as there's striated muscle engagement, those are the trunk muscles and limbs, as long as there's movement there, there's fluidity and a constant regulation of adrenal uptake. Other ideas for talking while moving might include hiking, walking, strumming guitars, drumming together, or putting up a tent or similar project. A lot of people, adults included, feel intimidated by the intimacy of face-to-face conversations. They find that sitting side by side during a car ride is a good venue to try having these talks. Just remember that this isn't a hard and fast rule. If your son doesn't respond well to talking in the car, it may be because he feels trapped or struggles to have conversations without clear eye contact. The adult and/or the child may find it challenging to understand each other without the context cues of body language. If he seems to withdraw more or become angry when you introduce topics or ideas in the car, it's okay to back off. With less pressure, some kids will eventually seize the opportunity to open up on their own terms. Signs your kids are ready to talk. On an episode of Neil Brennan's Blocks podcast, comedian and writer Jerry Seinfeld, father of 2 grown sons and a daughter, said, "People always talk about quality time. I'm into garbage time. You want to have garbage time with your kids when nothing's happening. It's 11:30 p.m. and one of them says, 'Do you want to have cereal?' It's just garbage time. You're just sitting there. You're not even talking. It's nothing, but it's everything. Garbage time can just be sitting around. Or it could be an unspoken request for communication. Here are some of the signs that your kid wants to talk and doesn't necessarily know how to ask for your time. Lingering in a doorway or in the periphery of a room, putting down his phone and watching you or the other people in the room, staying out on the couch or hanging at the dinner table longer than he usually does, coming into your room at night or your office during the day or wherever you're busy doing other things, and just hanging out. Sending a text asking what you're up to. These signs could also mean he simply doesn't want to be alone, but that's an important emotional need as well. Staying present can have a powerful impact. So hang out. Put down your laptop or look up from your knitting. Smile. Turn your attention to him and ask him questions about his day. Keep the tone light and inviting. It almost doesn't matter what you say. What matters is showing him that you're happy he's around. This demonstrates how important they are to us and allows us to seize a rare moment when they're ready to engage. Researchers and married couple John and Julie Gottman have studied the lives of married couples for decades. Their research looks into the power of noticing when your partner is attempting to create connection. They call these attempts bids, and suggest people work toward understanding what their loved one's bids look like. For teens, a bid for connection could look like sharing something funny from a video he saw, telling you what he did in his video game, making a joke, even if it's nonsensical to you, touching your shoulder or arm or playfully poking you, asking a question, even if it seems unimportant, playing you a song they like, lingering on the couch or in a room with you, even when saying nothing. Bids can also appear negative. Sighing loudly when you are nearby, complaining, mildly misbehaving, like slipping swear words into language or saying things they know will annoy you. Bids don't always look like big, important moments. In fact, they're often small and seemingly meaningless. Like your boy asking where the big spoons are. You don't have to get up and find the spoon for him to respond to his bid. When he asks about the spoon, you can say, "They're in the kitchen tools drawer," and then ask what he's making. Remember, it's less about what you say than the fact that you're open to the bid and validating his desire to connect, even if it's over something that seems silly. How to keep your cool when your boy is being unkind. Attempts at connecting with our boys are often thwarted by sheer adolescent rudeness. The instinct to meet fire with fire is understandable, but there's something to be said for taking a breath and approaching our prickly teen with patience, using some of the skills from this chapter. Here's an example. Seemingly out of nowhere, your kid yells to you from the kitchen, him, "I hate when you buy this cheap pizza, Dad. It's disgusting. You don't even care, though, because you're so, expletive, cheap." Affirm the emotion, model emotional control, and set a boundary. You. "I hear that you're really upset about the pizza, and I want to understand. But the way you just spoke to me was hurtful and unnecessarily loud. Give me a few minutes. I'm going to take a breath so I don't overreact, and then I want to talk about it." Return within a few moments and restart the conversation. You. "Okay, son, it seems like you're really upset about the pizza. What's up?" Him. "I just hate this pizza, Dad, and I've told you that. I'm starving. I just finished practice, and this pizza is not what I wanted." Reflect back what you're hearing. You. "Oh, okay. If I'm understanding, you feel like I ignored the fact that you don't like that pizza and bought it anyway. Is that right?" Him. "Yeah, like I've said it, but it feels like you're not listening. It made me really mad." Reflect and affirm the emotion. You. "I can imagine it feels bad to think I don't care enough to listen." Him. Yeah, and I get so hungry I feel like I can't get enough to eat lately. Reflect again, apologize, affirm. You. I hear you. I think I forgot that you didn't like it, or maybe I just didn't take it seriously. I'm sorry. So what can we do to make sure you get enough food throughout the day, especially before practice? Him. I don't know. Ask if he's ready to engage on this before diving in. You. Do you want to think of some ideas now, or maybe later after you've eaten? We can also just go to the grocery store after dinner and see what looks good. Him. Yeah, let's do that. I'm tired and won't be able to think about much until I've eaten. Renew your boundary and end on a positive note. You. Okay, great. Let me know when. Also, next time if we can avoid yelling, let's try to. But I know you were upset, and I know how hard you're working in school and how much energy it takes to get through practice after a full day. When your kid seems to be struggling. Although it's common and even developmentally appropriate for an adolescent to retreat and want more time alone, you want to ensure that they don't retreat to their room and never come out. It's key to keep knocking on your son's closed door, both literally and metaphorically, to stay connected. A few helpful phrases. Just a reminder that if you're ever having a tough time, there's no problem too big for us to work on together. I know life is chaotic, but I want you to know that I'm never too busy to have a conversation with you. Remember that I love you, and nothing you tell me will ever change that. I know parents can be extremely annoying when you're a teenager, but if you ever want to talk or hang out, I'm here, and I always value our conversations. Little phrases peppered throughout our kids' lives, shared with a smile, can reinforce that we are a safe place to turn to when times get tough. Dr. John Duffy, a psychologist, father of a grown son, and author of the book Rescuing Our Sons, urges parents to trust their own internal wisdom to know when it's time to reach out for help. Some degree of distance is fully expected and developmentally normal, he told us. But too often, parents dismiss this distance as normal instead of facing the problem head-on. My bias is in favor of professional help when a parent thinks their son's distance may potentially be an issue. Dr. Duffy suggests we watch out for the following signs. You can sense that your depth of communication with your child has diminished, especially over a short period of time. You feel as if you're losing traction as a parent. He is listening to you less, talking with you less, and sharing with you less. Therapy is rarely a mistake, Duffy suggests, even if in retrospect it seems like an overreaction. Staying connected. Too many of us, including the humble authors of this very book, are sometimes so caught up in our phones, work, or other distractions that we barely notice the little things our kids do throughout the day. But noticing these little things can add up to something powerful. In their research with married couples, the Gottmans found that couples who have about 5 positive interactions to 1 negative interaction were much happier and more likely to last. We think this can extend to the parent-child relationship. To maintain a healthy bond with our kids, it helps to be sure that we are having more positive than negative interactions. And they can be small. Pausing for a moment and catching your son's eye and smiling, even if he doesn't smile back, is a positive interaction. Tossing in an authentic compliment. I appreciate how patient you were with your brother this morning. Adds yet another. The goal isn't to meticulously track your interactions, but rather to simply be aware of the overall tone of your interactions and to strive for a balance. It may not be possible to have a positive ratio every day. That's okay. Just keep in mind that your kid may need some extra effort at connection and affirmation in the days to come. Here's a short list of what a positive ratio day with your teen might look like. Saying good morning to your son with a smile, +1. Asking if he needs anything before you leave for work, he leaves for school, +1. Saying, "Love you," while looking at him as you leave, +1. Texting your concern over his mounting tardies, -1. Thanking him for putting his backpack in his room rather than the hallway when he got home, +1. Telling him no when he asks if he can go see a concert in the city on a school night, -1. Giving his shoulder a little squeeze as you pass in the hallway, +1. Asking if he wants to share some chips, +1. Laughing at his little joke, +1. Cutting up an apple and putting it next to his keyboard while he does homework, +1. Noting how sweet he is with the dog when he stops to pet her, +1. Telling him, "I know you're working hard lately. I'm proud of you," before you go to bed, +1. Our teens still need us. Teens may talk to their friends more, but they need their trusted adults the most. Eli Harwood, therapist and author of Raising Securely Attached Kids, explains why. When kids are little, their attachment drive is going to be towards us because they rely on us for survival, protection, belonging, and identity. But when they're getting into adolescence, the instinct becomes to learn how to create bonds outside of our core family. Harwood told us that teens will naturally start to turn toward friends and romantic partners for support and to feel connected. This can feel like a big change to parents, and it's normal if it hurts a little at first. This transfer of attachment is part of individuation, where kids go out into the world and learn to make their own connections and social structures. It's a gradual process that often feels sudden to parents. The good news, according to Harwood, is that this separation is sort of like our kids saying, "Mom, Dad, I've got this." But they still need you. If they're just having a bad day, we would expect they're more interested in talking to their pals about it because they can understand and relate more, Harwood explains. But when something really awful happens to a teen with a secure attachment to their caregiver, their impulse will still be to seek their caregiver in that moment. We really want to be accepting of the complex emotional state that our teens are living in, so that we can remain in sync with them, says Harwood. Adolescence can be a grumpy, prickly time for some kids, which can be contagious. When our teens snap at us, it can be easy to snap back, or to make ourselves scarce lest we poke the bear. But our kids still need to see joy in our faces when we greet them. Harwood shares a fun analogy for parents to help us remember to show our love. She says that when greeting younger kids, we can show the same level of delight we do when we see the family dog. We can even be the golden retriever, all waggy and excited to see our kids, and they will probably love it. But when it comes to teenagers who are more reserved, Harwood suggests showing your interest the way you might with a family cat. You enter the room calmly, smile and make eye contact, and keep your voice a little calmer and reserved. You make it clear you're happy to see them, without introducing a wild new level of energy to the room. Try both tactics and see what your kid reacts best to, or adapt depending on his mood. What's most important is showing that you are delighted by his presence and interested in his life. We asked boys, what should parents know about how teens communicate with one another? I think that parents need to understand that being online is not inherently bad just by virtue of it being online, and that there are many positive social interactions to be had between friends if they would just let it happen. Not of, age 15. We usually talk in a more disrespectful manner to people we're closer friends with. Raul, age 15. Lots of it is on text and calling. A specific thing I think that's important for parents to realize is that while we're in school, our friends are almost the biggest thing in our life, because we're at school 5 days a week for 7 hours, and so we need to be able to communicate with our friends. Isaiah, age 17. It's easier to have deep talks about life with someone who is the same age rather than your parents. Anise, age 18. Remember this. 1. Teenagers are biologically hardwired to pull away, but we shouldn't allow them to disappear completely. They will connect more with their friends than you, but they still need you. 2. Meet your teens where they are and find ways to engage that recognize who they are and what they're into. 3. Make sure you're someone your teen knows he can trust to help him handle and manage his big emotions, and that you don't expect perfection from him. 4. Try to pay attention and recognize when your teen is making a bid for connection with you. 5. Strive to have a ratio of 5 positive interactions to every 1 negative interaction with your teen. Masculinity presents an impossible dichotomy. Understanding and processing emotions while also being unable to feel and experience them. You're expected to know how to handle emotions in a way that doesn't involve talking about them or learning about them or showing them or experiencing them. It's very tiring. Nadav, age 15.